Imagine a bridge. To your left is the desperate struggle of the poverty line, a place you've spent years, perhaps decades, trying to outrun. To your right lies the promised land of financial sovereignty, home ownership, a robust portfolio, and the ability to say no to a job you hate. You've finally secured a salary of $50, $60, or $70,000 a year. By every historical metric, you've arrived. You should be crossing that bridge with ease. But as you step forward, you realize the bridge has become a high-speed treadmill. You are sprinting, your heart is racing, and your lungs are burning, but the promised land isn't getting any closer. In fact, it's receding. Welcome to the $50,000 purgatory. In 2026, this is the most psychologically and financially precarious position an individual can occupy. Why? Because on paper, you are fine. You don't qualify for government subsidies. You aren't eligible for housing assistance. And to your friends and family, you look like a success story. But your balance sheet tells a darker truth. It reveals that you are exactly one moderate car repair or one medical deductible away from a total systemic collapse. You are middle class by title, but working poor by reality. The fundamental math of the American dream has been quietly rewritten behind your back. In the late 20th century, a $50,000 income was a pillar of strength. It allowed a family to purchase a home for roughly 3 times their annual salary. It allowed for a reliable vehicle, a modest annual vacation, and a consistent 15% contribution to a retirement fund. Today, that same house in a safe zip code costs 7 to 10 times your gross income. That reliable vehicle now comes with a monthly payment that mirrors a mortgage from the year 2000. You are caught in the middle-class vice. Your income is high enough to be taxed aggressively, but too low to benefit from the sophisticated tax shelters used by the ultra-wealthy. You are the primary engine of the tax base, yet you are being crushed by the very economy you sustain. The most insidious part of this purgatory is what I call ghost expenses. In 2026, we live in a rent-seeking economy. You no longer own the things you use, you merely subscribe to them. Between software as a service, cloud storage, premium communication tiers, and the convenience tax built into every delivery app and digital interaction, your income is being bled dry by 1,000 small incisions. You are losing 15 to 20% of your purchasing power before you even address the biological necessities of food and shelter. Then there is the housing mirage. If you are residing in a metropolitan area where the jobs are, you are likely spending 40 to 50% of your take-home pay on rent. From a professional standpoint, you aren't an employee. You are a sophisticated pass-through entity for a property management conglomerate. You are sacrificing 20 hours of your work week every single month just to secure the right to sleep within driving distance of your office. This leads to the psychological mirage of progress. Because your LinkedIn profile looks prestigious and your paycheck is higher than your parents' was, you feel a social obligation to perform the middle-class lifestyle. You finance the $1,200 smartphone on a 24-month installment plan. You lease the SUV that signals utility and success. You participate in the high-cost social rituals of your peer group, the $100 dinners and the curated weekend getaways. You are using high-interest credit to bridge the gap between your stagnant wages and your rising expectations. This is quietly broke syndrome. You are projecting an image of wealth while drowning in a sea of minimum payments. Why is this happening now? It is the collision of wage stagnation and monetary inflation. In 2026, the dollar is a shadow of its former self. A 3% cost of living adjustment at your corporate job is actually a pay cut, when the real-world costs of energy, healthcare, and insurance are rising by double digits. You are running faster just to stay in the same place, and the exhaustion is starting to set in. The system is designed to keep you in this state of optimal stress. If you were truly destitute, you might revolt. If you were truly wealthy, you would have the autonomy to disrupt the status quo. But in purgatory, you are just comfortable enough to be afraid. You are afraid to take a risk on a new venture because you cannot lose your employer-sponsored healthcare. You are afraid to move because you are locked into a rental rate or a mortgage that you couldn't replace in the current market. You are, for all intents and purposes, a debt-bonded professional. So, how do you dismantle the treadmill? How do you exit purgatory? You must begin by accepting a radical premise. Average is now a failing grade. If you follow the conventional wisdom, save a little, spend a little, and wait for retirement, you will remain in purgatory until the day you die. To escape, you must aggressively widen the gap. The gap is the delta between your income and your essential expenses. In the $50,000 purgatory, the gap is usually a few $100s. To escape, you must turn that gap into a chasm. This requires a brutal reset. It means ignoring the social pressure to look middle class. It means driving a 10-year-old vehicle while your coworkers mock you. It means living in a neighborhood that doesn't match your title. It means ruthlessly eliminating every subscription and service that does not provide a direct return on investment. You are not cutting back, you are reallocating your life force. Every dollar you save by living below your means is a soldier in your private army. In purgatory, you are a consumer. To escape, you must become a capitalist. You must take every spare cent and inject it into income-producing assets. You need dividends, interest, and equity. You need your money to work 24 hours a day so that eventually you don't have to work at all. The goal is not to make $50,000 look like $100,000 through clever financing and debt. The goal is to live as if you make $25,000 so that you can invest the other half into your freedom. This is not a journey for the faint of heart. It requires you to be weird. It requires you to be the person who brings a thermos from home while everyone else spends $7 at the cafe. It requires you to value your net worth over your network. The $50,000 purgatory only feels like a permanent residence because we are taught to buy into the illusion of the middle class. But once you see the bars of the cage, you can find the key. The key is discipline, assets, and time. Stop being the engine of someone else's economy. Start being the architect of your own. Break the cycle, widen the gap, and buy back your life. Purgatory is a choice. It's time to choose freedom.